Blood types. All people have a specific blood type, which can include A, B, AB, or O, all of which must be further classified as positive or negative. The specific characteristics of these types determine if they are compatible or not for blood transfusions. In our group, Jess and Jamie are O positive, Mike is A negative, and Zach is B positive. We will discuss the implications of these differences in the following slides. ABO blood groups. Blood contains antigens that seek out foreign substances, lump them together, and destroy them. These antigens are called agglutinogens. The blood types we are discussing are designated based on two specific agglutinogens called type A and type B. Additionally, they have antibodies called agglutinins that seek out and destroy antigens that don't naturally occur in that specific blood type. Blood type A contains type A agglutinogens, which means that blood is not compatible with type B, so it has anti-B agglutinins. Blood type B contains type B agglutinogens, so it's not compatible with type A and has anti-A agglutinins. Blood type AB contains both type A and type B agglutinogens, so it is compatible with both and doesn't contain any agglutinins. Blood type O is reversed in that it doesn't contain type A or type B agglutinogens, so it is not compatible with either of those and has both anti-A and anti-B agglutinins. Rh blood groups. In addition to classifying the blood as A, B, AB, or O, it must also be classified as positive or negative. This classification is based on the presence or absence of an Rhd antigen. If that antigen is present in the blood, then it is said to be positive. Conversely, if it is absent, then the blood type is negative. Blood transfusions. When conducting a whole blood transfusion, you must consider the agglutinogens, the agglutinins, and the presence or absence of Rh antigen D. In short, you need to know the blood type of both the donor and the recipient. Also, you must consider if agglutinogen type A or type B are present, if agglutinin anti-A or anti-B are present, and if the blood is negative or positive. Compatible blood transfusions. Not all blood types are compatible for blood transfusions. Type AB does not contain any agglutinins, which means people with this blood type can receive any other blood type. However, it also contains both type A and type B agglutinogens, so it cannot be given to any other blood type because all other types either contain anti-A or anti-B. Type O contains both anti-A and anti-B, so it can only receive type O. However, it does not contain any agglutinogens, so it can be a donor for any blood type. Type A contains anti-B, so it can only receive A and O, and can be given to types A and AB. Type B contains anti-A, so it can only receive B and O, and can be given to types B and AB. To be fully compatible, the donor and recipient must also be negative or both be positive. Compatible transfusion examples. In our group, both Jamie and Jess have blood type O positive. That means that their blood is compatible for transfusion because neither of them have any agglutinogens and they both have the same agglutinins. Additionally, they both have an Rhd antigen. Jamie and Jess could also be both donors for Zach, whose blood type is B positive. In this case, Zach's blood contains anti-A agglutinin, which means he cannot accept blood that has type A agglutinogen. Since Jamie and Jess are both O positive, their blood does not contain any type A agglutinogen and could be accepted by Zach. Lastly, Zach's blood type is positive, so during a transfusion, he could accept O positive as donor blood. Incompatible blood transfusions. When a transfusion occurs and the blood is not compatible, some effects can cause complications within the blood. The donor cells can be attacked by the recipient's plasma agglutinins. The donor cells may also agglutinate, causing the RBCs to become sticky. This process may cause a clot or clog smaller blood vessels. If arteries or veins are clogged, then blood flow becomes irregular and stagnant. This can cause any tissue below the blockage to stop receiving nutrients, which may cause ischemia. The donor cells may also rupture, causing hemoglobin to be released into the bloodstream. If hemoglobin is freely in the bloodstream, then there is no oxygen being delivered to the tissues. The freely moving hemoglobin will be brought to the kidneys and our body will not process that correctly. This will cause renal failure. A more simplified way to understand incompatible blood transfusions is to think about them as donuts and sprinkles. So the red blood cells are the donuts and the sprinkles are the antigens that the cell produces. The sprinkles can either be positive or negative. The only donuts that do not have sprinkles are O negative. Donuts with positive sprinkles can have either positive, negative of the same type, or no sprinkles. Negative donuts can only receive negative sprinkles of the same type or no sprinkled donuts. So for example, A positive donut has positive sprinkles, therefore it can receive A positive, A negative, O positive, O negative donut types. So an example for another group, the B negative donut can receive only B negative and O negative donut types. So remember, don't mix your donut types. Packed red blood cell transfusion. In most transfusions, whole blood is not used because there are more factors to have to match up between donors and recipients. Instead, medical professionals use packed red blood cells. What that means is that they are isolating the erythrocytes and using only those red blood cells, which do not include anti-A or anti-B agglutinins. Because of that, the only thing that must be considered is the Rh factor. If the blood is Rh negative, it can be given to positive or negative. But if it is Rh positive, it can only be given to Rh positive recipients. So, B negative packed red blood cells could be given to an A positive recipient, but that A positive person could not then give blood back to the individual with B negative blood because of the Rh antigens.